Okay, in this tutorial, we're going to go over how to write an equation for either a parallel or a perpendicular line. So given what we know about the slopes, use that information to write an equation in either slope-intercept form, standard form, or point-slope form. When it just says to write an equation, any of those three forms are completely acceptable. It does not have to be a specific form that it's in. Some may be easier for others depending on what information you're given. So just use what you got. All right, line V has an equation of y equals negative 8x minus 10. Line W, which is perpendicular to line V, includes the point negative 1, 1. What is the equation of line W? So we got to figure out line W. Let me turn the pen on. We got to figure out what line W is. And the two things that we need in order to write an equation for a line are any point and its slope. So we know that line W is perpendicular to line V, so that's going to help us determine what the slope is. Well, the slope of line V is negative 8 right here. That's given in that equation for us. Perpendicular slope to that means that we have to take the opposite and reciprocal. So change the sign and flip the fraction. So there's an invisible one underneath. So the new slope of W is going to be a positive 1 over 8. That is the opposite reciprocal of negative 8. Now we also know that it includes the point negative 1, negative 1. We can use point slope form and just write this given equation right in here. We don't have to change the slope intercept. We don't have to use standard form. And if you remember your basic form of point slope, it was y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we're going to use this as our m, this as our x1, and this as our y1. So y minus negative 1 becomes a y plus 1. Remember, we change signs. Our slope is 1 over 8. And x minus negative 1 becomes positive because, remember, we changed the signs to plug into our equation. And there you go. That's the equation of line W, where it's perpendicular to line V, and it goes to the point negative 1, negative 1. All right, moving on to the second one. The equation of line P is y minus 6 equals 2 times x plus 9. So this is in point slope form. We can figure out what the slope is and what any point that it crosses through. And it says that line Q is parallel to line P, and it passes through the point negative 4 and negative 10. What is the equation of line Q? So that's what we have to write the equation for, the equation of line Q. So we got to figure out the slope. We know that the slope of line P is 2 from right here, because it's in point slope form. And we know that the word parallel is going to tell us that the lines P and Q are the same, so we don't have to change anything to it. The slopes of line P and Q are equal. Slope is 2 of Q. And we know that it passes through the point negative 4 and negative 10, so we're going to do the exact same thing we did prior. We're going to use point slope and just plug all that stuff in. So this is x1 and y1. So we've got y minus negative 1, which is y plus 10. Our slope is 2. X minus negative 4 becomes x plus 4. That is your equation for line Q. That is parallel to the equation of line P, same slope of positive 2, and goes through the point negative 4, negative 10.